time for a conceptual lesson. So far, we have done things like a polynomial x cubed. We know the derivative is 3x squared. We have done sine and cosine, right? Derivative of sine is cosine. Derivative of cosine was negative sine. And we have also done derivative of e to the x is equal to e to the x. Okay. Now that we know a couple of the basic rules, what if we multiply two things together? How do we approach this problem? Right? So the two rules we have is if we multiply, we have to use something called the product rule. If we divide something, we have to use the quotient rule. So the first thing, let's learn the product rule. The product rule says when we have two things multiplied together, let's say f of x times g of x, the derivative of the product is the first one times the derivative of the second one. Then we add the derivative of the first one and then just multiply the second one. And it doesn't matter which order you do it, since it's just an addition, and addition is commutative. So that's the rule about product rule. Now there's also another rule. Let's consider if you are not multiplying. Suppose the question asks you about division, right? What happens when you do f of x divided by g of x? d dx of f of x divided by g of x. The official formula is g of x times d dx of f of x minus f of x times d dx of g of x all over g of x quantity squared. Now, if you can remember this formula, that's great. But I have a mnemonic device in case this is too much. I learned it as, if instead of f of x and g of x, let's call this high and low. And so the derivative of high divided by low is low d high minus high d low, square the bottom, here we go. Okay, so one more time. Low d high minus high d low, square the bottom, here we go. So whichever way you like better, you can go that way. And just recall, today we learned about the product rule and the quotient rule. In the next couple of videos, I'll show you an example of a product rule and an example of a quotient rule.